Mom. There's an old sled. Lots of wood. What's the history on this house, just right from the beginning? I mean, from the whole place. Who moved here first and who built it?
No, I guess Uncle Harry built the house. He must have built it somewhere in the like 1918 or 17 something. I think when he came out of service, I'm not sure that because he was in World War I, if I'm not mistaken. And after the war, he came out and he built this because this is a fine house. When you build a brick house,
yeah, it's beautiful.
Because I remember the old log house yet when I was a kid. It was all rack and ruin, but it took many years before they finally tore the whole thing down. But this is a fine house.
And he was, I mean, what did he farm here?
It was a regular dairy farm, cows.
Yeah.
Milk. And just, they made a living. They had 2 kids, Paul and Gladys, and I think they had 6 cows in a primitive barn over there.
That's amazing.
You know, my wife just, when she saw that, she couldn't believe it. Anybody actually made a living in it. And they did. They made they didn't make a lot of money, but they didn't spend any money.
Right.
They lived, like my aunt Agnes used to say, we live off the land.
Yeah.
And she was right.
And who lives here now?
Paul. Well, it's still Paul Gary lives here. It's Paul's son.
Oh, that's right.
And I think Paul owns, Paul owns all this stuff. I think he bought it from his sister, what was left of it.
Okay. Well, he's done a great job with the place. I mean, it's very...
Yeah, I just wonder what's going to happen, unless Gary would get married or something.
Yeah.
This is all over the place. Barns in rack and ruin.
Yeah.
One farmer owns half of the township. And that's the granary over there. That's where they have to put all the grain after they trashed.
And this is where we would come for eggs?
We'd get eggs out here, and I was just saying, Agnes always had a great big garden. We'd always get stuff in the garden.
Oh, there's some muskmelons, watermelons.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. Berries, raspberries. But we also got eggs at where Leslie lives now.
Oh, okay.
That was the egg place, yeah.
In fact, we got eggs at any of the farms. Did we get eggs at Joe and Mildred's?
No, I think pretty much by Leslie. Even when Aunt Lillian was still there, I think we had, because they had a huge chicken coop.
And you didn't have egg cartons, just Mom's egg basket, and they just carried them in a basket.
But then later on, they had those egg crates. They used to wash the eggs and put them in those egg crates. You know, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think about 6 dozen, 12 dozen.
Yeah, that was
2,
later.
4, 6 later on. When Helen was doing that.
Yeah, and then when Mom would have to go to the store occasionally to get store eggs, then she'd always save the cartons and take them out to the farm so that they'd have egg cartons.
And so cheap. Eggs are, my God. To this day, I think they're very cheap. That's one thing, you get your money's in eggs. Paul was telling you about that.
Aww.
Grandpa planted those?
Yeah. Paul was saying, he says, Uncle Tony and his dad put all these trees in when they redid that road and everything, and they put all these trees in. Now that road in those days was not much more than 2 lanes, for 2 wheels. If you passed, you had to kind of slow down and get off a little bit. But it was beautiful. It was a spectacular area. Today, I don't think they'd allow you to tear it up like this.
Yeah, isn't that a shame? I don't know if you were here when he was telling you there was a pond down here. And there was all a creek along there.
Oh, it was a creek.
There was a big pond right over here. It was a spring-fed pond, very deep. And then a little connected to another, a little smaller pond, and then the creek continued on that way.
Yeah.
One of those big concrete bridges that kills. If you hit the side of the bridge, you're dead. All out of concrete, but underneath it you could run the raft up underneath, especially when the water was high. You could cruise up the creek a little bit. Oh, we had a grand time.
What was that, what are the logs that you took from Grandpa's house? Were those the ones up in the attic? And he was saying those are from the Civil War? From what?
From the
the addition that was on the original log cabin at what we saw as Grandma's house that was built in 1912. So this log cabin was packed from 1850s, 1860s. And then they put an addition on there that was actually clapboard, which is like regular boards, which is just like what you see in the barn in terms of the rough sawn timber. In there, it's exactly the same. I mean, the boards are up to 2 feet wide. And so anyway, I hauled those on the car ferry.
That's amazing.
Home from when they were selling the house. But it kills me that I didn't also take that armoire that was in the garage. It just absolutely kills me because, I mean, it's like, you know, I just didn't want another thing. And it was all solid oak. Needed a little bit of repair, but it was like, anyway, would have been great.
Corn's looking good.
Oh, yeah, these old timbers.
What do you think that's from?
Old barn. You see all hand hewn.
Yeah.
Pegs are still in it.
Oh yeah.
All rotted, unfortunately. But that's a smokehouse. No, maybe not. Maybe that's the other house.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For bacon and pork and that kind of stuff.
Sausage usually,
Sausage.
and hams. You go by those things, you see them on farms. There's smoke coming out of 4 little holes on the top.
Oh yeah.
Boy, I love all the vines on the house here and everything. It's really...
That's the school where Grandma went to school.
Oh,
and Grandpa went to school after he left the Catholic school.
Okay.
That's where Grandma tripped on her shoestring and broke her arm coming out of the outhouse.
Is that right?
And the teacher had to take her home on his motorcycle.
I know. I was just thinking, she probably was like pretty psyched about that.
And there's the smokehouse. That's still there.
Wow.
You want to get out here.
Okay, Mom, set the stage for me.
Well, this is where Grandpa and his family grew up. This was the home farm. Now, Grandpa Duhan died before I was born. He died like 1938.
Can you move in so I'm not in the middle of the road?
Yeah. And so Joe was the oldest of the siblings. So Joe stayed on the farm. Joe and Mildred stayed here. And Grandma Duhan lived upstairs after, well, when I was a kid. So when I'd go spend time at Scarvita's farm, then we'd walk up here so I could visit Grandma Duhan. And across, Don, you need to talk about what was across the road. There's a tavern and a dance hall and a little grocery store across the road.
Oh yeah?
They're the only ones in the area that have a telephone.
The tavern was the only one with a telephone?
Only one in the area with a telephone. So when I stayed at Scarvita's, I always took my jammies and my toothbrush, but I always got homesick, so we had to walk up here, call the phone, and call Mom so she would come and get me because I wanted to go home.
Even in the 40s, it was the only place with a telephone.
Right.
Ah.
Right.
So that was right across the street here?
No, down there. Way down
Oh.
there. Cousin Leslie's. We walked up from where Leslie lives. That was the Scarvita's. And that's where I would always take my jammies and my toothbrush. But this is where Grandma Duhan lived. I had a pet rabbit named Pinky, white rabbit. And the rabbit lived in a chicken coop in the backyard. But when fall came and it was getting to be winter, Grandpa said that he needed to bring the rabbit out here so they could keep him in the barn during the winter where it would be warm. And in spring, I wanted my rabbit. And they said, like Uncle Joe said, the rabbit ran away. Probably got, who knows what happened to it in the woods. Years later, Claude and I were having a fight. I can just remember being at the top of the steps at home, and Claude was at the bottom of the steps. We were really mad at each other, and he said, "And by the way, Uncle Joe ate your rabbit."
Oh, did he really?
Poor Pinky.
Go ask Scott about some of his stories of Uncle Joe had
Well, that was
like a
done,
Model A or a
Must have
Model
been in the
T.
50s. All I know they came here once. When I was married already with kids when we came here. And they had indoor, I was surprised they had indoor plumbing and everything.
And this is where Grandpa
This
was
is-
born and
this
raised?
is Grandpa's, yeah, this is Grandpa and his, let's see, how many kids? There were 8 kids or 6 kids?
It's on the front seat over there.
Oh
I'll tell
yeah.
you.
This is where Grandpa and his siblings all grew
I
up.
think there's 8 kids.
And they heated the water on a stove and put it in a big tub. And they took a bath in that
Summer
house over
kitchen.
there,
That was
in
the
the
summer
summer
kitchen.
kitchen. Yep.
That was the granary, smokehouse. And what you see above there, that was the milk house.
And the cows were out there. There was a big
Where's the milk
trough.
house?
Behind that wood, you see that slanted coming off the barn there?
Yeah.
That was the milk house.
Oh,
That's where the milk truck came in here and loaded the milk cans in the morning and backed around here and out they went. This is all fenced in. This yard was all fenced in with gates and everything.
Hmm.
And there was a gate across there because once in a while they leave the horses out here. And I was at an antique show and Illinois had license plates during the war. They were fiber, built out of soybean fiber.
oh really?
And the guy was talking to John, my son John. He said, you know, if you had one of those license plates and you drove your car where there were pigs, the pigs would eat those license plates. Yeah. A lot of farmers, you'd see it. This was the yard was fenced in, and pigs would be running through there.
And they butchered a pig right here.
Oh yeah.
I remember the butchering and taking
Right here in the driveway area you're talking
right in that
Right in front of that
circle
car.
area.
about? Okay.
Like that. Butchering on the green.
Frank took the sledgehammer and that's it. Then Grandma he knocked him out cold and Grandma came up there with this tray and a butcher knife and cut open his throat and all the blood ran into that for sausage.
And then at home, they set up the sausage making,
Yeah.
the sausage
I
machine.
saw that by Scarvetters out there making sausage. Grandpa there used to make crank off a bit, then
Yep.
he crank it up and turn it.
Yeah,
But
using
you
the
know,
intestines
when
too.
I was a kid, they had butchering contests. I remember Wagner's on a Sunday at a big picnic there, and they had a butchering. The truck backed up with a steer in each, and the steer came out, and bam, over the head with a sledgehammer, and down it went, and
Yeah.
cut it up, and they grabbed the 2 heads, and then there's 2 guys working, the butcher. They'd string it up, and then he'd slit his belly out and roll all of the guts and everything.
And so what was the criteria? What
Well,
did you-
there's 2 guys doing it, whichever had it dressed the first. That was a butchering contest. See how fast he could butcher that and have it ready to go. 2 halves hanging, and all set to go to the meat market to be cut up into meat. And that was a butchering contest.
so you'd have it, is what they would do.
Yeah,
That's
they
what-
cut
that
it
was
to
their
when it was
objective.
cut in half, ready to be thrown on the table to made into meat, to be sold.
Okay.
That was the criteria. Whoever got it done first, split in half and clean, he was the winner. Probably the prize was $5 or something.
Tell me, didn't Uncle Joe have like a Model A or a Model T that you drove into town?
No, that was a 32 Ford. It was a 32 Ford V8. That's the car I used to drive out here. 32 Ford V8. I went to county fair with it. I and Jackie Sobel. Joe gave us each $10.
Wow.
$10, pretty good.
Yeah, I know.
hell, that lasted a week.
I was going to say, that's more than we got.
But tell them about Clements across the street.
Oh, that's across the street. There used to be a big tavern, general store, a dance hall in the back, and living quarters in the back, and on top. And there's a big room upstairs where they used to have meetings, a meeting room for whatever's going on, insurance companies or something like that.
Where, right here?
Right over there, that big empty place. It's burned down. And the guy that lived there, my buddy Dalton, he just died here about a month ago. Mill and I went to college. And then across here was an old garage, which was the original store. There was an old organ in it. I used to go down there and pump it.
Really?
You could make it work and play. Because I could play, with the accordion. I knew how to play a couple of things anyways. And that was quite a place then. But it burned down. There was a tin building, all tin, and they said that they don't know how long the fire was there because it all of a sudden just erupted, and then all that big building, and that finished it off. That was the end of it.
I said that was the only place in this whole area that had a telephone.
Yeah, that's
Well, it was right across the street, though.
right across, right that open space you see there, and right here was the garage, right over there.
Huh.
That's where I had to go with Dorothy, and I would walk up here from Scarvitas so I could call Mom and say, I'm homesick, I gotta go home. Come and get me.
We rode our bicycles out here. This is the biggest thing.
Wow.
We rode our bicycles out here. And then I
That's a
remember...
good hike.
What's that?
That's a good hike.
12 miles. 12 miles here from Manitowoc.
Ooh.
Out here. And then I remember I had to go across the street. And I think Mildred Grandma gave me a dime so I could pay Mildred, Julia to call Mom and say, we're out here. And my mom, of course, she was a little stunned. But I said, we'll be back. I took us a little over an hour. You ride a bike easy at 8-10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So it took us a little over an hour. Of course, that time, this was a very busy highway. It wasn't the smartest thing. The two-lane, very busy highway. There was no interstates or anything.
Hmm.
But that
That's
was a
right,
big
this
thing.
was a busy highway.
Oh, sure. This is the only road between here and Green Bay and Manitowoc.
Hmm.
It's like a railroad.
What was that description of the cellar you were talking about?
Well, there's no basement in the homes,
Yeah.
But they did build a cellar. Part of the foundation was quite deep, to get away from the frost. But when you go down the steps here, it's like a dungeon. All you see is cement, or this, stone cement walls, mortared walls, and the floor is just whatever it is, ground or whatever it's dirt floor. And but I remember all the shelves, and Mildred had that so stuffed full of canned stuff.
This is our Aunt Mildred. This
And what would there
is
be?
Joe's Mildred.
Yeah. And what would be it? What would the jars be stuffed with?
Well, no, that's she canned all that stuff. She made that. They'd buy a bushel of peaches and can those peaches. Buy a bushel of pears, plums, tomatoes, tomatoes too, and meat. They used to can that pork, and that was so good. That canned pork when you opened that up in the summer, it had like a little red grease on top of it. Oh, that was really good.
Wow. That I don't. I remember the salts. I don't remember the can
Oh, I hated
pork.
that stuff. Blah. The what?
Salts.
What is that?
With the jellied pig's feet.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is the first dog to greet us. It used
you
to
go,
be
Chris.
that you go into a farm and you had dozens of dogs and cats.
Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy.
I know we're interrupting your day.
Well, I think I'll move over anyhow, or
Yeah, it looks
Do you have to get anything done before that rain cloud hits?
What?
Do you have to get anything done before
Well,
that
I was
cloud?
going to load up one load, see, open up the field.
Well, we can wait for you if you have to get something done.
Well, take a half an hour. Or if you want to go someplace yet and come back.
What do you think?
We've been all the places.
Oh, this is
The
the
last one heading home.
Oh, now you're heading home.
Well, we can drop Don off here because I know you have to get going soon.
We can.
Whatever, I'm just.
What's in the barn?
Yeah.
Let's go look. We'll take it.
You should have started with that green.
You do that with everyone?
It's so quick.
Everything is so late.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Is
You're
it
right.
color wash?
And we put some light on it.
Oh, golly.
Same old barn, yeah.
Same old barn.
That's brutal. What happened in here?
You got riding horse or something.
Swallows.
This is what a barn smells like.
Come on.
It's got the breath.
And this is, when I was a kid, they had horses here.
You can smell them.
Actually had horses. Not to mention cows.
Hi, guys.
It won't take long to, you know.
Oh, no, that's always a couple of extra pennies, you know. So, then how?
Oh.
No cows are anymore. No.
Hello, boys.
Yeah.
You're small ones yet.
Now, how long do you keep them?
2 years.
2 years
This
and then...
spring I sold, they were coming in, you know. I breed them and then the buyer buys them about 2 months before and he sells them to a farmer.
Oh,
Yeah.
and so these
So
guys...
then he brought me 5 small ones, the buyer.
Okay, so
I
these-
thought I'd have a little vacation and he brought me right away.
there's just no vacation, is there?
No, no.
I didn't even realize you were farming anymore.
Well, I'm not doing too much, but
Oh, you're still...
I mean, I don't know. I've been here all my life and I'm still here. I said they'll carry me out.
Do you know what year this farm was built?
No, I don't know. No. I mean, years ago they never talked much about that.
Right.
You know, they never mentioned what year or, you know, who bought it or I mean before that. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we were saying that about the Cosley's and the Duhans. Well,
Yeah.
now, what year was it built? Well, who knows?
Yeah, right. Yeah. You know, on some barns they had the date right on the, you know, right in the cement
Oh, yeah.
printed. But here they didn't. Yeah.
Well, Chris is here from New York, and
Oh,
Jeff
oh.
and the kids are here from Michigan, so it seemed like the time to
Yeah.
got down to
Yeah,
give
yeah.
us a tour of everything.
I suppose.
Our family history tour.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just the way I
So in other
remember
words, these are all your family, not Donald's, huh?
Right, these are all my
Yeah, right.
family.
I get it straight.
Exactly. Yep, these are all my
Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
Kids
Yeah.
and grandkids.
So
Yeah.
Leslie, you grew up on this farm?
Yeah. I stayed here.
Yeah.
And then when did your folks go over to the new farm?
Well, 51 or 52?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I bought it from them and, you know,
Then they,
so, yeah. I had maybe 10 acres more. That I sold off a couple years ago, you know. But now I just kept the 80 and so,
how many cows did you used to have?
well, 21, 22, yeah. So, oh yeah.
What are you farming in the fields at this point?
It's hay.
Oh,
No,
okay.
hay for the heifers, yeah.
Yeah.
It is getting kind of brown already.
Is it?
You know, it's
Is it getting late?
it's laying out so long, you know, because
Yeah.
the weather isn't there.
Oh,
And for
yeah.
chopping, if it isn't dry, it either molds or burns up. You know, it heats up too much. Oh yeah,
So you do this all by yourself, all the
yeah,
haying, and
yeah. Well, that chopping isn't hard, you know.
just as long as the weather cooperates.
Yeah, right, yeah. We never had a baler, always a chopper. So, yeah.
Well, I was telling the kids every time we used to come out here when I was little, I always
Yeah.
brought my jammies and my toothbrush.
Yeah.
After
You stayed.
night or 2 nights, it was like
Yeah.
Dorothy and I walked up the hill to Clements. I had to call
Yeah.
home and say I'm homesick. Come
Yeah.
get me. Come home.
The good old days, eh?
Good old days.
Yeah, right.
And then you guys would come and stay at our house.
Yeah. Oh,
when
yeah.
County fair.
County fair, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was quite a time.
Yep, it sure
Yeah.
was.
Nowadays, they don't do that no more. I don't think, you know, visit like that or. Well, on the farm it was different. It was always, you know. But now there ain't many farmers that are. I mean, the kids that go there.
Well, I said Sunday afternoon was visiting the
Yeah,
relatives.
yeah, right,
If
right.
somebody didn't come to your house by
Yeah,
1 o'clock, you went to somebody else's house.
Yeah, right,
You
right.
always went
Yeah, that was
visiting
every week.
relatives.
That was every week.
Every Sunday you visited relatives.
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
Oh, I'm getting my hand licked.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
He likes the salt.
yeah.
yeah.
Leslie, what's the dog's name?
Pepper.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, is he eating lunch? Yeah, he's eating lunch.
Pepper came and gave us a good greeting at the car.
Oh yeah, he does that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Where did Don go out already? He had enough of the barn, huh?
Walking around back there. Well, we
Yeah.
gotta let you get back here.
Well,
Yeah.
nice seeing you again.
Oh, look at these
A lot
fellas.
of
Yeah.
memories
They're
here,
so-
Leslie.
Huh?
A lot of memories here.
Yeah, yeah. You're not kidding. Jumping into the hay.
Oh,
You know that long hay we threw it down and.
that's right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So was it your parents or grandparents that built the?
Well, grandparents.
Your grandparents did?
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Yeah. And I just, well, Pa had it till 52, then I kept it up and, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it's been about 50 years then.
Yeah, yeah, right,
50
right,
years.
oh yeah, right, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Down
it-
here, Pop, coming out.
It is going to storm, it looks like, huh?
No, Don's around the corner.